I'm the coach. You're locked into the NFL on EA Sports. Up next, we've got what ought to be a great matchup between the Green Bay Packers and the Dallas Cowboys. So with that, let's head over to the heart of Texas. Massive AT&T Stadium in Arlington. On the call, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Coach, EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the Lone Star State in the very mammoth AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. A moment ago, here was the scene with the Cowboys emerging from their tunnel. It was loud. It's still loud. We're ready for football as the Cowboys get set to match up with the Green Bay Packers. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Now, Charles, you and I, we've done a lot of games together. Always seems like we're rehashing the same storylines. Turnovers, of course, always a big story. Quarterback play, running backs, yada, yada, yada. But getting ready for this one word kept coming to mind, and that's preparation.
Well, it's critical to be prepared physically, mentally. When you think about getting ready for an NFL game, you have to wonder, what will they throw at us that maybe we haven't seen before? 2-minute drill, maybe different things like that. Got to be prepared. You're exactly right.
Here's the former Cornhusker Brett Maher to get this one started. And we are underway from AT&T Stadium. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here comes the Packers offense now onto the field. They're led out by Aaron Rodgers, who won Super Bowl 45 right here in this very stadium.
And in fine fashion, too. The MVP, what did he throw for? Over 300 yards, 3 touchdowns?
3 touchdowns.
Boy, he had a big day, and they needed every bit of that in beating Pittsburgh for another championship for the Green Bay Packers. But when you watch him play, how much fun is it to see him go out there, dissect defenses with not just his arm but his mind? And I think his ability to move is a huge part of his game.
A nice run on first down gets him 6 yards to the 31. The game's first play produces 6 yards, brings up second down.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
On second down, it's Jones. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. They got half of what he needed there, 2 yards, and it'll bring up a 3rd and 2 more. They'll try and run for it with Jones. And Jones is not going to have the first down as they stop him short. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1. So much for picking it up on the ground on 3rd down. 3rd play of the drive, and this defense showing strong early.
I wonder how much of that was scouting. I wonder how much of that was a gut feeling like, okay, let's just go ahead and sell out here and get after them, thinking they're going to run the football and stuff them early, because they've now set the tone. They've set a precedent right here. If you're going to try and run the ball against us, it could be hard going throughout this game.
On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. Fights off the defender. It'll be a 47-yard punt with a net of 40 following a 7-yard return. And the Cowboys will take over the football with a 1st and 10. So Prescott and the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 at their own 24. Now the first carry for Ezekiel Elliott. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Give him 18 on that one, and it's a Dallas 1st down.
That type of run right there, that just fires me up when I watch it, because that's maybe the most underrated aspect of his game. The ability to break tackles and know where the first down chains are and pick them up. He's tough, good pedigree. Dad Stacy was a linebacker at Missouri. Yeah, and how about Mom on the track team? So I think that's where the speed came from. And she's not shy about letting us know that, too. Yeah, I got the best of both worlds. One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. And that's Elliott, complete. Nothing on that one. It'll be 2nd down. And on this offensive unit, your thoughts on Travis Frederick? He's a quarterback's best friend. Sets all the line calls and blocks so aggressively. Had the completed pass, but for no gain, stopped right at the line, so it's 2nd and 10. Here's Elliott. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. After getting stuffed on 1st down, not much better there. 2-yard gain. And let's get a look at the Green Bay defense. Mike Daniels continues to get better and better with each year. A nice run stopper inside.
I'm going to run you up 26.
On 3rd down, it's Prescott. And he'll have his man. That's Cooper. And he'll be corralled out across midfield down to the 45. And this is going to result in another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Packers' 45-yard line. Well, we always hear about the connections some quarterbacks have with certain receivers. I think this guy has a connection with just about everyone. Didn't mind throwing it in there against double coverage to him. Showed some confidence, supreme confidence. Big-time confidence that he would make the play for him, and he did. And he's going to get this inside the 30. Give him 15 there, and the Cowboys have a 1st. We're scoreless after 1. Start of the 2nd quarter, and it's the Cowboys in possession as they've got it with a 1st and 10. They keep on the ground with Elliott. Oh, a good move. And he is into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Ezekiel Elliott, 29 yards, as his guys are first onto the scoreboard here this afternoon. Well, partner, that was another explosive run, and one thing I've learned in our time in this game, yes, the offensive line has to get a lot of credit, but for big runs to occur, the wide receivers have to block well downfield. And then you have to have a good guy carrying the ball too, right? Oh, without a doubt. You need that difference maker lugging the rock. And now Jason Garrett electing for his guys to try for 2. They'll let Elliott try and run it in. And he will get in to make it 8-0. And so they run it in on the 2-point try. And so often, Charles, we talk about, from the offense's perspective, what you do on the 2-point conversion. How about the defense? How do they play run versus pass? It's really difficult for them because I think most teams want to play for the pass. That's what they see most teams do. And so are you able to mass enough people inside if the team decides to run it? Very difficult. I think what you're seeing a lot more now, people blitzing the 2-point conversion. They want you to make a quick decision and make it right now. There, the offense wins the battle for 2. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Well, as they come out here to set up shop for this next drive, let's talk about the NFC Championship game coming up. San Francisco hosting Green Bay. It was the road teams winning in the wild card round, Seattle, Minnesota, but the home teams bounced back in the divisional round. 49ers beating the Vikings and the Pack beating Seattle in Lambeau, so sets up a great NFC Championship game. And a rematch of their regular season meeting that San Francisco dominated. Don't think Green Bay has forgotten that one. They have not traveled well to the West Coast this season, losing at the Chargers, losing at San Francisco. I think they'll play much better in this one. Aaron Rodgers burning to get back to the Super Bowl yet again. And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. Another example right there how this defense really is winning the entire game at the point of attack.
Yeah, right there at the line of scrimmage because they are dominating it. It allows their interior guys to get upfield and spill into the backfield. So how are you going to combat that? Because they bring in your tight end, keep him in. Your running backs, they have to step forward. Bottom line, your offensive line has to block them first to give yourself a chance.
On 2nd and 12, Rodgers got a man. That's Allison. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. And he's going to have another first down here as the tackle's made at the Cowboys' 43.
That looked like a pretty good route combination there because you've got to find a way to clear the guy running the drag because when you do, you just put the ball on him and then let him run.
Yeah, he's got some space. So from Cowboy territory now, here's 1st and 10 at the 43. Rodgers with a give. It's Aaron Jones. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
Partner, I think from our experience together, we have learned that most offensive coordinators are going to tell you if I'm going to run the football on first down, I've got to get at least 4 yards. They got 5 here. They've got to feel pretty good about that one.
Fans, a reminder, I have a note card here that says ad-lib halftime preview. So I guess let's do just that as we'll hand things over to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando when this one reaches halftime. Did I do okay?
You did great. Not a bad job.
Hey.
But, writing down your ad-libs.
If you print, I'm going to read it. I'm Brandon Gaudin. They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass. Now it's Rodgers. And he finds his tight end, Graham. And he's going to get to the 31, enough for the first down. 2 former All-Pros connecting. Rodgers fighting his tight end, Graham. Packer first down. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Here's Rodgers to throw. That's complete to the former Aggie, Jay Sternberger. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down. 4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. Rodgers again now. And he's going to go down here, a sack. They push him back to the 34. The Packers going to use one of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a tick under a minute to go before half. Rodgers now, after the sack, he'll lead the pack up on 3rd and long. Working from the gun. Rodgers. This complete to Jones. And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. Call it a loss of 2 on the play. And it'll be 4th down. Now they try to swing it out left into the flat, complete, but really nice open field tackling.
And they played that one like a great boxer. They were on their toes on that one. They weren't back on their heels reacting to the play. No, they saw it, came right for it, and made a nice tackle for lost yardage.
So the 3 points here, they're still down, but they put somewhat of a dent into that lead going into the break.
Anything helps when you're trying to chip away at a lead, but they do know that they're going to need a little bit better effort in the second half.
This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. Time for a final kneel down or a safe run, and then they can head to the locker room with a lead.
Yeah, or they can even run a screen. Something they feel is somewhat safe that might actually pop and turn into a big play. That's what you usually run in this situation.
Or go 4 verticals because why not?
Because you're feeling it, right? You're just feeling it.
So after the incompletion, 2nd and 10 from the 22. Here's Prescott. Going to take a shot for Gallup. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. We have hit halftime. Still 2 more quarters to go. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back after this. You're watching the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. It's in the game.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. And welcome in, everyone, to an abbreviated version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. This one has been a hard-hitting affair to this point, and you got to expect we'll see more of the same in the second half. And to bring the action your way, let's get it right back out to Brandon Gaudin.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Cowboys will get the football first here, and they have the lead as well as we are underway in quarter 3. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Out come the Cowboys now as they'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ballgame.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
And out across midfield down to the 45. A big chunk on the ground there, 27 yards. Not only an explosive play, but an explosive run. I mean, broken tackles along the way to pick up that yardage.
The way things kept churning for him, feet were moving, the legs were driving. Looks like someone who spent his off-season working on hill work, running through sand, all the things that you want to build up those leg muscles.
So into Packer territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. Now left side, a completion to his tight end. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down. A tough run by Ezekiel Elliott, the 4th overall pick in the 2016 draft.
If you watch tape of him in college, you saw plenty of those runs because I know the highlights showed him in the open field breaking away from people, but that's how he wore down defenses, those exact type of runs.
And inside the 20 before he's brought down. It's a gain of 16 and the Dallas first down.
Almost not fair. The big guy running the corner route, being able to lean and push and get to where he wants.
So how do you stop him?
A lot of times you want to have a linebacker on him, a bigger body guy who can handle him physically, but a lot of times that doesn't work as well because his quickness often wins the route.
Here we go, 46.
A first down carry by Elliott. Elliott a first down and more. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Ezekiel Elliott, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Cowboys, they push out in front further. And now Jason Garrett electing for his guys to try for 2. They'll let Elliott try and run it in. And he is into the end zone again as he scores both the touchdown and the 2-point conversion to extend this lead. Following the touchdown, here's Marr to kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. Here's the Packers offense now getting set to start off this third quarter. And their halftime hole now even deeper, and they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing. and try and get back to where you were to start the half.
A running play here on first down is going to go nowhere as he is tackled behind the line of scrimmage. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up second down. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game. So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards. From the gun, it's Rodgers. And Graham's got it. Complete. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down. He's been quiet today in the passing game, just his 2nd catch.
Yeah, and people have to come up with schemes to limit him. And what a lot of teams do, they'll double him, you know, use a linebacker underneath, a safety over the top. Sometimes they'll just take a corner, maybe their 3rd corner if he's a bigger guy, and put him on a man-to-man to try and limit his touches. Just keep mixing it up, give him different angles, different looks, like a good boxer does.
And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. Give him 15 there, and the Packers have a first.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, tight, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you make curl a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight, and he will go down. A Cowboys sack. The sack by Robert Quinn. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter with the score Cowboys 16, Packers 3.
And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17.
Push him back. Push him back.
Now Rodgers. He completes it to Jones. And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up 3rd down.
That play was well covered. Just tried to check it down. Unfortunately, not able to find any yardage on that one.
1st and 2nd down were a disaster. Both went backwards. Now it's 3rd and 18. They need something big. Shotgun now for Rodgers. They'll get this complete to the Notre Dame man, Equinemius St. Brown. And he'll take this to the 47, but no further as they get him down well short of the line to gain. You cannot write these guys off just yet, not with a quarterback like that under center.
You mean it actually crossed your mind with him running the team that you could actually maybe write this game off?
Not yet.
Not a chance. Not with him. We've seen it too many times.
Indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out. The Packers go for it. Rodgers. And that is incomplete. The Packers unable to pick up the first. And Dallas, they'll take over in terrific field position. So now with a 2-minute warning coming up fast, that puts a mammoth dent in their comeback hopes.
I like how you phrased it. It's a dent because there's still opportunity. They've got to get the ball back on defense, obviously twice. But guess what? This thing is not close to being over. They need to go ahead and play it out.
Not over. As you said, 2-score game still.
Hey, we got to get this stop here, D.
They'll run on first down. Elliott. And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Throwing. Prescott. That one complete to Elliott. And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. Now, this is a big third down, and you'd have to think we'd see a timeout right away if they can't stop him here. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So the Cowboys in possession of the football here as we get you reset. Prescott. And let's see what they... Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. So fresh out of the 2-minute warning, and here's another timeout taken with 1:55 remaining. And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on 4th. Prescott to throw it. And that's caught inside the 35. Now the Packers going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Now Prescott, and this is caught by Witten to tie it in. Now the Packers going to burn their 3rd and final timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Two big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. Elliott. And he will fight his way into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. A 10-yard touchdown run. And the Cowboys, they push out in front further. He keeps carrying the ball into the end zone, and in this one, he's sort of carrying the team on his back.
He's the reason that they lead right now. No question about it. And you talk about on his back, he's not minding the extra weight at all, is he? Carrying that just as lightly as he does the football. Yeah, what a great performance so far.
Those 3 touchdowns, it's got him in the lead. So Dak will bring the Cowboys up to go for the 2-point try. They'll let Elliott try and run it in. And he is into the end zone again as he scores both the touchdown and the 2-point conversion to extend this lead. And they're able to ground it in there on the 2-point try. And you and I were talking before the game that 2-point conversions from the 15-16 season, what has changed, what hasn't changed, partner?
Yeah, I'll tell you what's changed is just your normal strategy, because now you're either kicking the football with the ball on the 15-yard line, or if you decide to go for 2, they put it on the 2-yard line. So what are you thinking as a coach? Do I risk it? Do I go for it here? Do I try and gain a strategic advantage and maybe go for 2 early? That's what people are wondering about.
The Green Bay offense now about ready to take possession here. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in a game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
An incomplete pass on second down leads us to 3rd and inches. Shotgun now for Rodgers. He's got his man, Valdez-Scantling. It's a 9-yard gain, and it'll keep the drive moving. Clock management, definitely critical here if they want to get back in this game.
Absolutely agreed. They have to up the tempo in this case, down a couple of scores. Want to make sure they have a chance to win this ball game.
Green 18. Check. Watch 54. Watch the pass.
Now a draw play. This is Jones. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's second down. On 2nd and 11 now. Rodgers. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much back.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
He's got Adams on the hookup. And he's going to have another first down here as the tackle's made at the Cowboys' 43. Now you've got to hustle your guys to the line and get them set. Here's Rodgers. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone. Another pass attempt, another incompletion. You figure defensively, you're in the fourth quarter here, you've held the team under 100 yards passing. You've done your job.
Especially in today's NFL, which is truly a pass-first.
Now look out, Rodgers lost the football. It's picked up by the Cowboys, and they'll set up shop in enemy territory at the 45-yard line.
And with that kind of a deficit, you can't afford to make any kind of mistakes. But it's been pretty symptomatic of what we've seen all game with them, isn't it? Down this big in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, you'd say an afternoon to forget, absolutely. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. And they've got this one in hand. No timeouts remaining defensively, so this one should just be one kneel and then handshakes. Tenth carry now for Elliott. Oh, he's got some breathing room. Give him 15 there, and the Cowboys have a first. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. This is Elliott. Sheds another. Yeah, he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. And what are the whistles for? Timeout. So they'll stop the clock here in a game that's been decided in the closing seconds. Oh, now look at this. They're lining up to add 3 more. Little insult to injury here late in the game. On the left hash mark, this a 38-yard attempt. And his kick is right there. It's good, and that will extend the lead out to 24. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the fourth.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
And this one's going to be covered up by the Packers hands team. Well, fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
So this one will end in a victory for the Dallas Cowboys. And it was their defense that really made the statement after the break. They pitched the second half shutout.
Yeah, think about the team that just got vanquished. They did score in the second quarter. Do you think they thought at all that that would be their last point of the game?
No, but what a second half. The adjustment, whatever they did in the locker room, it certainly worked.
It certainly did, and you're exactly right. Whether it was an adjustment, whether it was just more focus on what they planned to do going in, whether they just played better, whatever it was, it all came together in the second half, and no points were allowed. That's a great way to close them out.
So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. It's a win for the Cowboys as we sign off and say so long from Arlington.